I'm Adam. Yeah.
I'm Meeks.
I'm Cos. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I know because I watch.
Sorry.
One of the few. Yay.
I'll give you a little bit of background though, just so we kind of you know where we're at, because if we end up uploading this part of it for everyone's information, we've never spoke before. These guys have no idea who I am. I just reached out and said, I'd love to have you guys on the podcast, and luckily they said yes, and here we are now. So this is as new to me as it is to you, as it is to everyone watching. So. Yeah, but yeah, basically,
now, so we know all your ski videos. We've been watching them.
Oh, so. Thank you. Yeah. Well, essentially, to sum it up, I am. I've only been skiing for 2 years. I started quite literally 2 years and about 20 days ago. Wow. But I am a total and utter ski addict, and in that time, I think I've skied. I don't like to admit it, but probably over 200 days.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You share the ski addiction with this one, but he's got a few more years on you then.
I don't think I've done 200 days.
Clearly you have a similar thing, so it's nice to meet other addicts.
Yeah, absolutely. That's amazing. I mean, is that even possible? Are there 100 days per winter?
Yeah.
Crikey.
Yeah, because that's what. Yeah, 3 months. Yeah, and I mean, I've been skiing in September, August, June. On the glaciers. And I usually leave November 15th-ish for 3 or 4 weeks, like in both of those years. So that's a solid 20 odd days, like straight away.
Wow.
And then this year I came back for a week for Christmas, and then we went for another 3 weeks with my family after. So I think already this season I'm on like 50 days or something, maybe.
Wow.
We're jealous.
That's really impressive. I think we're on about 11.
Yeah, I mean that's even more than most. More than most. Yeah. But yeah, the reason I'll give my background, then you maybe could do it better. But essentially, like, you guys have a Campervan, because I always get confused between the two, and motorhome being the other one. And you guys do skiing videos like in your Campervan with your children, and you give a lot of information about the airs, where they are, what facilities they have, what the skiing's like. You will then go on to talk about the resort that you're at. And for someone who would really quite love to live out of a van 6 months of the year, apart from the fact I'd probably lose my family, I love watching it, because I would actually love to do that as well. But from my point of view, I would kind of like to do it basically instead of paying for accommodation, not because I'm necessarily obsessed with like the sort of van life thing or anything like that. Although I do watch a lot of it. I'm not. My wife always says to me, "You like the idea of it."
Yeah, not actually doing it. Yeah, no, we love skiing, all of us in that sense, but I think it did come about as well, like, we love to ski, and this was indeed a means to be able to go to more ski holidays.
Absolutely.
Then taking our van in that sense, because we forked out once on a chalet, 3,000 quid or something.
Yeah.
And it wasn't not even in school holidays for kids, and then the whole Brexit came, everything. Our vision just changed, that we thought, we need to do this a bit more efficiently, and that's where the van idea came from, and we can go on many holidays now.
Yeah, but also...
So sorry to interrupt. So because there was a very important thing that you said there, which was you've basically got the van to do your skiing. Is that literally...
That is how we start. Yeah, that's why we wanted to start the van in that sense, to go on many ski holidays, and obviously now we're using it for all sorts of
yeah, of course,
weekends away and things like that. But that is the main reason. That's why we've completely he kitted that out completely, winterised, to keep it nice and cozy for the purpose of going on winter holidays. Yeah,
that's amazing. Sorry, I had to just clarify in my mind. I also want to clip that and send it to my wife, who is in the room next door.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so if she contacts you after the show with any form of anger, I apologise in advance, because I feel like by the end of this, I'm going to be even more inclined to do the same thing.
I mean, from a financial point of view, it made a lot of sense. So
yeah,
what Mix was kind of alluding to is that we went away for 1 week and we'd spent 3 grand on a chalet, and the day before we arrived, it was mud everywhere.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh my goodness, what happens if it doesn't snow? Fortunately for us, we got lucky. It snowed the night before we arrived. So we got away with it. But we were thinking, if this happens again, it's a total waste of
money.
It's a total waste of time.
Waste of a holiday as well. So now, indeed, we go where the snow is. Of course, it's avidly on all the webcams and just scouting around. And we have the holiday booked, or we have the time booked. And then we just take the van, go where it's snowy. And we have the best time.
Yeah, we just booked the Channel Tunnel from, as soon as the kids break up, basically. We collect them from school. We don't even get them changed. We just drive straight to the tunnel. And then even on the way down, we don't necessarily know where we're going. We will we'll stop for somewhere kind of like in Reims. I don't know how to say it.
Reims, yeah.
And we'll just, like, that evening we'll look at the webcams, we'll look at the weather, see where's getting snow and head in that direction. Unfortunately, France are really well geared up for it. They kind of let you stay in places for free, mainly.
I know, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. I mean, I definitely want to talk about that a little bit later on, like that more that side of it. But because I quite often pick when I go when the snow comes. I don't necessarily go where the snow is, because there's places that I kind of like going to, but I do kind of wait. I'm literally on the apps like relentlessly, like sounds like you, which is amazing to meet someone else as ridiculous as me. But my wife literally rolls over in the morning and she's like, "Are you honestly on the weather again?"
Yeah. I have the same sentiments, but it works out for me because whenever we do go, there's lots of snow and it's
I know, yeah. That's what I always say to her. I'm like, you're standing here now. There's massive snowflakes coming out of the sky. That is because I have geeked out on the weather app. But yeah, no, that's fantastic. Yeah, because I quite often have no idea when I'm going to go, and I see it coming, and when I'm sure that it's correct. Luckily, I'm in a position where I can kind of pick and choose when I go to a certain degree. And I do try and tell people on the podcast, if you can do that, location and date, that is ultimately how you'll get the best trip.
Yeah. So we quite go off the cuff in that sense with holidays. Like before, obviously, you had it quite pre-booked. You know exactly what you're doing. With indeed having the van there, we can play it by ear in that sense. And some people who have vans don't do that either. They're still quite admitted to, like, well, we've got the week holiday. They usually need our videos to say, like, actually now we're going to spend a week at that particular resort because it looks nice. And they would commit to that. So that's still the more standard how to book a holiday in that sense. But we're just quite go where
we go somewhere if the snow's not great. We'll just move on. And so sometimes we can spend less than 24 hours in one place and... just ski in the day, pack up stuff at night, and just drive to the next place. And
that flexibility is amazing, isn't it? Like, absolutely amazing. Yeah, I think it's such a great way of doing it. And if you're going to use it in the summer as well, I mean, that's a huge cost saving, isn't it? Because like one of the largest parts, we drive to we don't ever fly really. I definitely don't ever fly. Sometimes if I'm going for like a month or 3 weeks, I will drive everybody's gear out, like my wife, my daughter, our friends, sometimes family, and then maybe they'll all fly over for 5 days a week, however long they want to come for, and then they'll fly back, and then they don't have to pay for luggage and stuff, so that reduced their costs and whatnot quite a lot. But I think the first couple of times I went, I spent like a half decent amount on accommodation, and it's lovely and everything. Don't get me wrong, like that. Like, it is lovely. If I was doing one trip a year, I would want to stay in a really lovely place and, whatever I could afford, basically. But I soon worked out that actually if I stayed in a really cheap place and we took our own food, which we do, and we didn't eat so much on the mountains and stuff like that, that actually I could go twice. Yeah. So in my mind, and again, my wife hates me for this because she'd rather go to the spa rather than slum it out of plastic boxes full of pot noodles, but it does mean that we can go more, essentially, which I would prefer. So that's kind of the way that we sort of worked it out, and it's a similar thing. But yeah, I'm so jealous with the van thing. Like I am so jealous.
It doesn't take, the thing is, it doesn't, you don't have to go and spend fortunes. I mean, we were lucky in the respect that I had the skills to be able to get an ordinary van and turn it into what we wanted. But you can get relatively off the shelf kind of second-hand, slightly older vans, campers and whatever. Sort of, I've seen them for sort of 25,000, which is not an insignificant amount of money.
No.
But when you think about the amount of money that you would spend per night on a hotel, maybe like £100 a night, if you're doing that for 200 nights over 2 years, before you know it, you've bought a camper. And so and also a lot of them, although they may not be fully winterized, there are plenty of videos out there, including on our channel, about how to sort of winterize the bits and pieces of the van you might like get hold of, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, back in the summer, actually, I was looking at lots of like mainly motorhomes, and I was really close to buying one because it was time for me to renew like my normal van, which I basically only use for skiing and fishing anyway. I mean, it's a work van, but I really, I use it for work, but mostly I use it for fishing and skiing. And when that came up for renewal, I was like, oh no, I can get a camper van for not much difference to like a brand new van is expensive. So I did look at it, but because we quite often go skiing with like 5 or 6 people, I looked at it from the perspective of getting something that would fit 5 or 6 people. And the more I looked into it, the more I was like, right, I can take 5 or 6 people, but I can't take 5 or 6 people's stuff. And us all getting changed together, and we're not all a family. Like there's young girls. Like you can't really, it doesn't work. So I went against that idea. But what I wish I'd have done now, because I ski a lot on my own, or in smaller groups as well, I wish I'd have just got a camper van that was just enough for like me and my wife. And then when there is more than us, either we stay in that and everyone else gets a hotel, or we drop that for a little while and we just get in a hotel together or something. So I messed that up really, and now I've bought my van. I'm kind of in a bit of a difficult situation, and it's also like, where do you store it? I've already got cars on the drive and stuff. Like, I don't have room to store it. We have a house in Champagne with lots of places we could leave it. There's a barn and stuff we could put it in, but yeah, then it's like, would I use it's like, it's not as straightforward for me, unfortunately, as it was for you guys, and I wish it was. Which is why actually I recently messaged you about a caravan. I don't know if you remember or associate it to be me.
I found it.
Yeah, because I was actually thinking, do you know what would be a great idea, and actually what would work better for me would be to have, because caravans are cheap, you can buy tiny little ones. I could put all my ski gear still on the van, and when I go somewhere I can still plot up and drive where I want to ski. So I thought this is perfect, but then I started thinking, driving a caravan in the snow when it does snow, which is not often really, but like if I had to, would that be awful? Does it really work? Like I wouldn't know unless I tried it. Which is one of the things I kind of wanted to ask you guys about.
Yeah.
We never, in all the driving that we do between resorts, point A to B to C to, because I mean, even just on our last trip, we did 6 different places. We've never seen a caravan on the road in the mountains.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether that's just coincidence, or the fact that maybe people just choose not to because of the difficulties of it. Obviously, mountain roads are very switchbacky as well.
Yeah.
And so having an articulated caravan that might just fall over because you've been up enough mountains to know how some of those roads can be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Outdoors.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, actually, we've been in worse places than Alpe d'Huez for like cliff edge type switchbacks.
Yeah.
We just kind of think, I mean, would I want to take a caravan?
Yeah.
Even with the experience of driving that I've got in the Alps, I don't think I'd want to do that.
No, I think that put me off as well. But then what I was thinking is, like, recently we did we was away. No, it was we. Yeah, we were away for 3 weeks, and we stayed in Saint Foy, we stayed in Pila, we stayed in lots of different places. But like, for example, when you go to have you ever been to Saint Foy or the Tarentaise area?
We've been to La Plagne.
Oh yeah, so that's the same area. So
Yeah.
we could stay in Bourg Saint Maurice, which I think, did you do that? I think you did.
Not Saint Maurice. No, we. Am I right in thinking that Bourg Saint Maurice has got the Utopia? There's a huge campsite there.
I don't know, but it's got the funicular that goes up to Les Arcs.
Yeah, I think that sounds right. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna. We don't know enough about that part of the world. To be honest with you, most of the places in the Tarentaise Valley don't accept campers.
Oh,
So that hence we sort of avoided it. La Rosière doesn't need. Saint Foy, I think, has space for two, which good luck with that.
yeah.
Les Arcs, no. Val d'Isère, no. Tignes, no. And this is from the tourism.
Oh, Val d'Isère does. Because I tell you, I mean, you have to pay parking, but we stayed in Saint Foy for a few days before we went to Verbier and then Pilar, and we didn't ski in Saint Foy every day. We just drove to Val d'Isère, we drove to Les Arcs, we went because they're so close, aren't they, in that Tarentaise area. And when we went to Val d'Isère, all of the like normal car parks were full up. But we saw one with loads of like these unbelievable like ruggedized 4x4 Mercedes campers that I dream of. You know the ones I mean, like they look unbelievable. And we actually drove the van in there, and we parked there, and they were actually staying in that car park.
Did they
And
look
at the
like
end
they've
of
been
the
there for a while, or
yeah, no, I spoke to because when we got back, they'd just got back to their camper. They were English, and I said like, "Are you physically sleeping here, or like how does that work?" And they were like, "Yeah, we've been here for like 3 or 4 days." Yeah.
Look into
well,
then.
the tourism office of Val d'Isère have said there is no parking overnight for campers in either resort. So we've tried because it's a place that we've never been to, either just on holiday or with the van. So we thought we'd try it. That's our kind of MO. We start out by emailing all the tourism offices because if we're going to give out this information on a YouTube channel, it has to be what the tourism office are prescribing. We're not going to encourage people to basically start, defecating on people's doorsteps, so to speak.
No.
And so, not literally, just metaphorically.
Yeah, because they said there's no facilities at all. There's no water, there's no waste, there's no electric, there's no nothing. It's a car park, but they don't know whether you're allowed or not. But they have not been removed, and there's police everywhere around Val d'Isère anyway. So you would think they get kicked off, but there was not just one camper van in there. There was a whole bunch, and it looked like that particular car park was specifically for them because I've got a Transit Custom, which is not a little van, but it's not one of the big like yours or a Mercedes Sprinter or something like that. And we were the smallest van in there, and all the others were campers. Yeah, and I thought it was when I got to the end of the day, I thought, oh, I'm dreading how much this is going to cost because it was so convenient. It's right next to the funicular. It's right on the main road. It was a nice quality sort of car park. I thought, oh, this is going to be absurd. And it's Val d'Isère, which is expensive anyway. And we got to the end of the day and it was €21.
That's all right.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, I literally couldn't believe it. In fact, I said it so much that everyone told me to shut up saying it. They're like, yeah, we know. Because I literally could not believe it because I was like, well, there was no parking spaces left. It was a really busy time between New Year's and like, I think it was like the 3rd of Jan or something. And we pulled up in this perfect car park with loads of space. It was fairly secure because it had like an electric shutter thing. And it was super easy to pay for as well. You just got to the thing, put your card in and it did it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it might be worth looking into. I could probably tell you like the exact pin where it was. I've got pictures as well because I wanted to remember it. But yeah, Val d'Isère is my second favourite place that I've ever been skiing. I absolutely love Val d'Isère.
Yeah. Well, we hear all the stories, but as yet we've not been.
No. Yeah.
It's always been known as a bit of a party town, and also the difficulty for us as well is we sort of. I don't know how old your kids are, but our children are quite young, sort of around the 10 years old mark.
Yeah,
and
mine's 10. Yeah.
Oh, okay, fair play. I mean, it's just I'd find it difficult to sort of go and have a big party whilst stay awake.
Yeah, to be fair,
here.
Val d'Isere, they've got like the Coco, I can't remember the full name of it, Coco something, which is a big party place. They've got the Folie Douce. But the actual town of Val d'Isere is very beautiful town. There's no party in there at all.
Oh, really?
So yeah, I wouldn't really call it like that. Not like Val Thorens or somewhere like where everywhere is having a party. There, I would it's very classy. Val d'Isere. It's actually quite chill, quite quiet. Unless you go to one of those two spots.
Yeah,
But the
yeah.
actual, the general vibe there is very chill, peaceful. Yeah,
It's
like
funny because all
have a
you see on
coffee.
Instagram is just people going absolutely crackers.
Nah, I promise you, I've been there. I've probably been there 25 days in the last 2 years. It's really not like that at all because I don't
Oh,
really do that stuff apart from if I get dragged there by like the my wife and all of our friends. So that's not like really my scene. I go skiing to ski and I'm there from 8 in the morning till when they
Yeah,
kick me
yeah,
off. Yeah, like, and I don't drink alcohol, so it's not really my thing. But
yeah,
yeah, so I do notice that kind of stuff. But yeah, Val d'Isere is really not like that at all. Like, not, I wouldn't say that at all. If you want a party, there are places, and it is going to be hectic.
yeah, yeah,
Like, if you
yeah.
go to like the Coco place, it's carnage in there, and there's lights everywhere and everything else. And if you go fully deuce in Valdi, it's massive, it's carnage, 100%. But actually, the town itself is a very sort of classy, sophisticated place.
right.
Yeah,
On our
It's
list,
going to
then,
have to
eh?
go on there. Yeah, the
it's
thing is
gonna.
that I think this might have to avoid the Tippy Travels YouTube channel if it's tolerated but not allowed. But I think we'll go there
yeah,
anyway.
yeah. Or you could. The thing is, you could, where all of those places are so close. Like that is Val d'Isere is probably, I think it's about half an hour from Bourg Saint Maurice. And I know for a fact you can put campers in Bourg Saint Maurice because I've watched videos of other people that have done it. So you could literally just drive up there for the ski day and come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or if you got one of the two slots in Saint Foy, you could go from there.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, I mean, I suppose we do have options. We were thinking of camping in Bourg Saint Maurice and because you can get the bus up, can't you? So it's
Yeah.
a bit of a drive, but you know.
Or what about teens? Have you looked into teens?
Well, actually, when we emailed them, the email come back from the people, basically the tourism office is shared between the two, and they basically said the same story across both resorts. So, but this is a fairly recent thing as well, because we're on a few Facebook groups that kind of like tell everyone sort of like, you know, oh, we're here and we're there, and you know, it's not allowed. The police were banging on my door or whatever else. And in the last 2 years, everyone's been saying that Val d'Isere and teams have shut it right down and put height barriers in, and the police have basically been knocking on doors and stuff. So,
oh wow, yeah, no,
Yeah,
that car park I was in, Val d'Isere, that was definitely full of campers and motorhomes as well. Yeah, 100%. There was no other type of vehicle in there because I was worried that it was like a camp place and I wasn't meant to be in there.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, because mine was the only normal van, if you like.
Well, we shall
Yeah,
pump out another message because things change all the time,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
you know, in the last couple of years since we've been doing these videos and stuff, that like the spots where the tourism officer is saying you can and can't go have changed, and also like the resorts just changed their format and the layout.
Sometimes they're building and need proper airs as well
yeah,
that weren't there before. So they're definitely, France is definitely more accepting, I think, of indeed camper van life and definitely the ski resorts. But yeah, lots to still figure out, isn't it?
Yeah, and so
yeah. I try to send everyone to Val d'Isere because it is just the most amazing skiing. Like, it's not my favourite ski resort. Like, if you include everything, that's Zermatt by far. But for the actual skiing, the town, like everything together, it's definitely my second favourite. And I've been to some real nice ones. But this year, I don't know if you guys skied around the sort of New Year time. The snow was terrible because it hadn't snowed since like late November or something. And I said to all the people I was with that trip, they were all girls. I said to them, I was like, girls, up tomorrow I'm going to take you to a place, because they were complaining about the hard pack, the ice and all that. I said, I promise you, not only is the place beautiful, but I absolutely promise you the snow will be as good as anything you've ever skied on. And they were like, no, it's impossible, like, you know, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so I didn't tell them where we were going. We drove through all the way up through the Tarentaise, past Teens. They're like, oh, we're going to Teens. I'm like, no, we're not going to Teens. Drove to Val d'Isere. got on the funicular, went down, went up the other side, and there's a glacier in Val d'Isere, and the snow up there is it's as good on the worst day everywhere else. It's as good as you'll ever find on the best day. Not powder, but just high quality, pasted, fresh snow that's not hard pack. And they were blown away. And even though it was like the 3rd of Jan, which is very busy, there was no one there, and there never is because.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because Val d'Isere is always quiet. Because if you look at the map of Val d'Isere, you can only get into Val d'Isere with reds and blacks. And the blacks they're very hard blacks, and the reds are very hard reds as well that could easily be blacks. So I think it puts off so many people.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just head to Teens, and Teens is like have you ever been to the Three Valleys?
Yep.
Yeah, you did Meribel, didn't you? Yeah. So when you did you ski to Val Thorens?
We've skied Val Thorens on another time, but not with a van. But yes, we've been there.
Yeah, but did you notice if you're in like I don't know anywhere, Courchevel, Meribel, Les Menuires, wherever, it's okay busy wise, and then as soon as you go Val Thorens, it's packed. That's very similar to like you're in Val d'Isere, then you go to Teens, it's packed. All the snow's been scrubbed off, it's all hard packed. Like the difference between Val d'Isere and Teens is they're worlds apart. Yeah, and I even went there for a week mid-December with my friend Benji, and I said to him the whole week, we was in Zermatt for 2 weeks before, and I said, when I take you to Val d'Isere, we'll be the only people there, and the snow will be sensational. And when we got there, he goes, I can't believe how accurate what you said were. We were skiing around. I've got all the GoPro footage. We're the only people there. I mean, obviously there's the odd person.
I'm the only one on the mountain, I have to say.
Yeah.
That is...
I mean, obviously there's hundreds of other people there, but because the scale of it and the small number of people, you literally for ages you're just on your own. And he couldn't believe how good it is. And I think it's because people like your average skier looks at that map and they're like, no.
I was gonna say that's what we've looked for as well, because in that with the kids as well, like we wouldn't immediately go for blacks and reds. Basically, we just like to make it a fun day so they can last all day as well in that sense. So that would have been, I would have disregarded that as well in that sense.
But I think what people don't realise is you get one gondola up and then you can take a couple of little bits and you're on the most beautiful blue slopes on the glacier, big wide like rollers, like really easy, beautiful snow. I shouldn't keep telling people because it's going to get busy there, but
I think the cat was out of the bag a long time ago there, mate.
Yeah, I know. No, I put a video out. I was there as well, April last year. I don't know if you remember, they had about 1.5 meters of snow.
Yeah.
And I was actually doing my level 2 ski instructor exam in Hintertux, and I was due to go to Zermatt straight after, but there was so much snow, Zermatt shut because there's only a train in and out. So I was like, well, I'm skiing. So I flew back to London, then back to Geneva, and I went to Val d'Isere, and the snow was insane, and there was no one there. It was so empty, it was unbelievable. And I put out a video about it, and it's got like 2 million views. And I keep thinking, I need to delete that video. Because in April this year, it's going to be packed. Do you know what I mean?
Well, you know what's funny? It's like... well, you'll know this just as much as us, is like when we're looking at where the snow is, there seems to be a pattern forming, which is the southern Alps tend to sort of get it quite early on. Yeah. And then that works its way further north. And so by the time you get to April, we're seeing absolute colossal dumps of snow late season, where you think the season's finished and everything's gone to mud and the snow level's risen back up the mountain. Then all of a sudden, boom, it's extended the season by another 3 weeks. I think some of the high resorts, like Alpe d'Huez, the Des Alpes last year, I don't think they shut until almost May. I think it was like the 3rd week of April, which was, or nearly the 4th week of April, where they were shutting down the slopes. And then they just went to the weekends after that. And I thought, this is crackers. But brilliant.
Yeah, it's crazy. The only, like, I don't know about you, but I like it when it's snowing or when it has literally just snow. I like snow on the trees. I don't want to see any rocks. I don't want any mud. Like, that's my favourite time. The problem is, even then, when they had over 1 meter in like 2 days, 2 days later, apart from on the piste, it was like, and really high up, it was barren again.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it doesn't look as pretty. Do you know what I mean? But
No.
I'll take it.
Yeah,
Like
no,
it.
sure. I mean,
Yeah.
like in each season, you know, obviously there's a lot of luck comes into this for us because we're a bit sort of stuck with the kids' holidays. We ski together, like so. It's quite an undertaking to get the van from Britain to France or wherever we are, Italy, and so
Yeah.
what we tend to find is like we get very few powder days to ourselves, you know. But one of the nice things is when we know it's coming, we like last year we knew some snow was coming, so we packed up and went to a resort that I knew was good for off piste, and they had a pool day, and I went off on my own and basically destroyed my legs.
Yeah, it was worth it, I guess.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I couldn't walk for. I was proper like John Wayne for a couple of days after.
So
But,
with the sort of whole going in the camper, because what county do you guys live in?
we're in Sussex.
Oh, okay, so you're pretty close to the because I'm in Kent, so the tunnel's half an hour for me. So
yeah.
it's
But not
so
far, but not
yeah,
far.
so convenient. So when you do this, because you're fitting 4 people as well in a space that's quite small, what what would you say like the top three? What would you call it? Like
What challenges?
maybe not even that. Like sacrifices, if you like. You know, like if you get a motorhome, you get a nice big kit toilet and a bathroom and all that. If you get a camper van, you've got it's sort of maybe built into one. That's like a sacrifice, if you like. What sort of challenges, sacrifices would you say you have to, like the biggest ones that no matter what you do, they still annoy you, or not annoy you, but they're there.
There.
I think, well, the only thing that I don't appreciate is the lack of space to put clothes. That starts to get on my wick a little bit. But
Yeah,
We've been working on that every
Yeah.
time, every holiday we've gone on. We've worked different methods out, haven't we? That
and also just
Yeah.
recently we've made an addition to the van to mitigate against it. So that's the other beauty of it, I suppose, is that when we start to find things that niggle us, that we're sort of a
Yeah.
bit like, oh, what are we going to
We need a
do?
solution.
We just start to build a solution. So I built a ski rack for the van. So the
I
skis
saw it,
don't
yeah.
live inside the van now; they live on the outside.
Yeah.
Which
we've created space in our garage in the back,
Which
so we
means-
can indeed bring more stuff.
exactly,
Um,
yeah, we can get more clothes in and stuff like that. So.
Yeah.
have you ever thought about like a trailer?
Okay, so yes and no. I'm right on the limit of my license, which is 3.5 tons. So if we add a
yeah.
trailer, the weight of the trailer is counted as full weight of the vehicle. So adding the trailer, even if the trailer is like 100 kilos, that's 100 kilos less stuff we can now bring.
Yeah.
And so that's our limitation. I am going to do my C1 license so I can drive a bigger truck, because in the future, perhaps we refit out Tippy and maybe we do some extra magic to it. I'm not sure exactly what yet. Maybe a pop top room for the kids, that kind of thing. I'm not sure if you've ever seen them where the roof comes
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're thinking about it.
Would you say that, because if you get if let's say you had like a much bigger one, whether it was a camper van or just a huge one of what you've got, would you say that the negative of the fact it's so much bigger would outweigh the positive of the extra space, or would you say like once you get to a certain size, the size becomes irrelevant really?
Just a good question. We sacrifice, I suppose, a few luxuries that we see other people have. Like the people that we were next to this year had a really big truck, and they had a garage area that had a heated like drying room for all of their equipment.
They thought about it as well. Indeed, they had their clothes hanging in like proper. It was a proper wardrobe basically on the side of the truck.
But the thing is, for me, you start to lose agility. Like, so if we want to pack up and leave, we're packed down in 20 minutes and we're off.
Yeah.
If you've got a bigger truck, then you're going to need more power. You're going to need more like resources, and getting hold of those is a little trickier. So anyone with a vehicle much bigger than ours will need hookup pretty much everywhere they go. I'm fortunate enough that I own a company that makes batteries, so we can build whatever batteries we need to fit into our camper. But even then, there's a limitation of how much weight we want to carry in batteries. So we like the fact that the van's a little smaller because it means we don't need so much stuff. We don't need so much heating, and the levels of insulation are good.
Yeah.
And so we can just pack up, disappear, and we don't need to plug in. We don't need to start up generators.
And it seems to be a lot easier to park as well in that sense, isn't it, really? And to drive around, like having a bigger vehicle is just not as easy to manoeuvre around a mountain. And also, sometimes we have looked around bigger airs. You think like, oh, there's a big monster truck. Lovely. They have all the luxuries, of course, but they take up a lot of space.
Yeah, you can't just nip down to Asda in one of them. I mean, it's,
Yeah, because if you want to do a supermarket shop, you're sort of bound to our van already. And that's already sometimes quite difficult to park in that kind of area, let alone anything bigger than what we have.
Yeah, because I think one day I probably will do it, and it's always sort of torn between the like definite flexibility, agility, like sort of what's the word as well, like the fact it's less obvious,
healthy,
against like maybe that extra comfort, because I think like obviously the smaller it is, it doesn't matter what the restrictions are, it's still easier to maneuver, easier to park, easier to be a bit stealthy with if you need to, all those kinds of things. But then obviously there's the other side of it, isn't there, which is like you get a little bit more luxury or whatever.
That's true.
It's a choice what you want as luxury in that sense, right? Because in essence, we could claim like our mattress is literally the same in the van as in our bedroom upstairs. We've gone for that. So we have an amazing night's sleep in the van, which weighs a bit more, but it's a good mattress. So it depends what kind of luxuries you want. Otherwise, indeed, we've opted for the ones we wanted to have and didn't back down on them.
Yeah, I think mine would, definitely that would be one of them for sure. But I think for me, I think the thing I always think about when I sort of my mind goes on this whole journey of what you guys are doing is the two things I always think about are shower and toilet. They're like the two massive things that I think about, because even if sometimes I look at like the videos of like the big posh ones, and I see one with a shower curtain and I think, no, I couldn't have a shower curtain. I'd have to have blinds. And then when I was younger, I spent some time on boats and stuff, and the toilet was with the shower. And when you had a shower, the toilet got wet, and then sitting on the I think I'm too old.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm probably give or take the same time of life as you. And the two things when I was building that van was to make sure that the toilet and the shower worked in tandem without one being like, overcome with too much water or anything like that. So basically we built a wet room into the bathroom. And so everything gets wet, but when the loo lid's down, the water runs off it. And then basically a quick sort of cloth dry, and that room has a heating element, like a blown hot air fan blowing into it.
So it dries.
Oh wow!
So when the door's shut in there, it dries, like the whole room gets up to about sort of 55 degrees, something like that, and everything dries out super fast. Yeah. And then the toilet part of it as well. I mean, I quite like having a nice sit down for 20 minutes, with Jess on the throne.
Exactly.
And basically that it had to be able to perform that, but without me having to be absolutely grossed out every time you need to empty stuff. So we did
absolutely.
A composting toilet with a urine diverter. And one thing we learned is that the urine absolutely stinks out of what comes out of you. And the solids, when there's a nice draft of, when basically we have airflow going around this kind of composting bucket that we have, within an hour or so, most of the smells are gone. But then again, any toilet, you've heard the phrase, I'd give that half hour. It's kind of no real different. And then basically when the time comes to actually remove the compost part of it, the smells are gone. And our urine gets taken to a different place to be dumped inside so it goes to outside the van underneath, whereby we then just press a button once we're over the waste drain to let it all go. And so we don't have and so that was a few of the challenges that I think a lot of people get a bit weirded out by.
But I do remember, indeed, when we did go on holidays, lovely chalet, hotel room, whatever, I remember, indeed, like everybody had this big shower afterwards, stretched the legs and everything. And I guess we don't do that as much, you're right. yeah, it's odd how we enjoy skiing so much that we can do it now more times in the year. That's indeed the little sacrifice we have done.
Yeah, well, to be honest, it doesn't sound like the hugest sacrifice. But then when it comes to like the water, like what size is your water tank for the actual fresh water?
So our freshwater tank's 125 litres, and then we have a
Oh wow, that's quite big then.
and we have a 30-litre hot water tank as well.
Yeah.
So that's separate.
So we built the big 125 litres. We built it in the van, so it's underneath the is it banquette seating, whatever you want to call it? It's under the seating basically that we can sit on when we want to just have a game of cards or whatever.
Yeah, so it's inside the van to keep it from freezing.
Yeah, yeah. And how long, if you was like completely off grid, have you guys been on your own before? Do you always take the children?
Always with the kids.
No, we have been.
Oh,
We've been to Formula One. Or skiing wise. Yeah, okay. Skiing wise, we have always been with the kids, yeah.
So with like all four of you, how long, like how much does one shower, like if you were to have like one, you know, obviously you'd be a bit more efficient, you're in and out, you know, you're not going to stand there for 20 minutes, but what, like how much would that use of that tank, like in litres or percentage or whatever roughly?
Well, there's a bit of science to this, and comes from my old building days. But basically, I told you that inside the bathroom there's that heat blown hot air system that's basically keeping the actual bathroom itself hot. So what that means is, you know, you normally get in the shower, and the first thing you sort of, if you're a bit cold and through to your bones, you turn the shower up to warm up. But the bathroom's already roasting by the time you get in it. So then when you start running the water, you kind of use less water because we have a trigger on the shower head that you just turn it on. It's all thermostatic, so the water comes out at the right temperature. Get wet, turn it off. And in answer to your question, really, with all the flow rate kind of restrictions we've put in there, we use roughly about 10 litres a person for a shower, and I'd say I probably use about 2.
It's more us, and it's more the kids that probably take longer because they're just
used to having
a longer shower. Let's just say,
So.
But even for me, like I would like you would just need to just lather up everything, and that's when the water isn't running, and when you do need it, let everything run in that sense, and you feel warm anyway because you're in that warm room. It's not like you're cold. Yeah.
So without topping up we can sort of do quite successfully 3 showers between top ups. Yeah. And so
we weren't van people before we had a camper van.
No.
We hated the idea of it.
It's motorhome.
We don't like
that beige culture of everything's beige. Oh, look, it's beige. Yeah. Well, look, it's beige.
I know what you mean. Yeah, because I think the perfect vehicle for me would have been, you know, like literally what I've got, but just a campervan version, like a VW Transport or something like that. I mean, I wouldn't get that, but something like that. But the only thing that would ever stop me getting that is purely because they don't have proper showers.
Yeah.
So, then it's like, well, you've got to step up to a big Transit or a Sprinter or, you know, all those other types size like yours. And then all of a sudden it becomes like, well, where am I going to put that? Because it's 6.5 meters long or whatever. So like every time I've looked at it, there's always been like something that stopped me from doing it. And I still, even though I watch like campervan tours, I'm not joking, like every single day of the week. My wife is so annoyed with me about it, but I keep watching them. I've still never seen one that I actually think would work for me. So I think I'm waiting for that time for it to happen. Because I watched a video a little while ago of a guy, he's a photographer. I don't know if you've seen him. He's actually got like one of them big motorhome things. But he goes around like taking photos, and he does like tour guides and things like that. And he did a video about what he's learned from being on the road, blah, blah, blah. And his like main thing was he feels like of an evening, because he's on his own, he wants a place where he can like put his feet up, rest back against something and chill. And even a lot of the ones you see, like the really nice ones, they tend to have that sort of front 4-way little area, don't they, where the captain's seats turn round. And then they've got the bed, and it's like, right, so you'd really, to do what he's saying, you'd have to lay in bed really. And then a lot of them you can't do that necessarily because there's cupboards above the head. Like there's a lot that goes into it, like choosing it, which is why I guess you sort of did your own.
For us, it was like a big event. Obviously, for us, COVID happened, right? And that's when indeed we just decided as well. Like we had money set aside. Like you said, we had a house in Champagne. We were going to get somewhere in the mountains, and we just decided, no, let's invest that money and go for it. Go for the van, and then look indeed like what would work best for us.
It took we ran ourselves through the thought process of how are we going to use this when you can't just go outside quick because it's -10 or whatever, and so how are we going to use this successfully? And we did spend a lot of time designing it. And then I mean things that haven't quite made the channel yet, admittedly, because I'm a bit behind on my editing, is to do with how we lounge. So we kind of like have two sets of seats opposite each other with a table in the middle. We've got a situation where the table comes out and then a pull out makes it into a nice big corner sofa. So for that breakout area, like you're talking about, a few scatter cushions, we can just chill out, sit up, read a book. The kids like to go in their little cubby, their little room, to go play on their tablets, read their books. So, and Mick sometimes jumps up into the bed and reads. So the thing is, we all, even though it's a small space, we all find somewhere where we can have a bit of quiet time for ourselves.
Yeah.
And that was also quite important in the design process.
Yeah, because we don't have those.
Is this your second iteration now?
No. This is Mark 1. This is the only one we've ever done.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, and with how it is now, is there anything that you like? If you could literally rip it out and it goes straight back in and it finished in an hour, would you keep it as it is, or would you change everything, or would you just change a couple of things?
Good question.
I don't think there's much, is there?
No.
I still personally think you potentially would want to have maybe those, even though it doesn't look as stealthy, but the side pods. Because Colin's quite tall, and that's the only thing I think he sometimes complains about. Like, he can't fully stretch out like I can, because I'm short.
Well, I can. I just have to lay diagonally across her side of the bed.
Which, that's what I'm so short.
She's only 5 foot 3.
I'm so sure it works. But I think if I ever grow again, the side pod would potentially be, because then I think, but it doesn't look as stealthy. And at that point, we went for the look instead of maybe the full-on.
Yeah.
There's also a limitation on, like, the side pods just don't work in our van because there's a big structural beam on that side and all this. I mean, I think the biggest changes that we are going to see happening are going to come around because the kids are growing.
Yeah.
And our eldest is now taller than Meeks, and so we're now thinking, what happens when she starts? Because they currently share a bed. What happens when she starts saying, "No, I want my own space"? So, conversation at the moment about maybe putting in a carbon fibre pop top, fully insulated, that kind of thing, and then that'll mean a redesign of the solar panels and that kind of stuff. But basically what that will again give us is a third area,
a separate area.
There's enough, then there's like an extra bedroom. So, and
because I actually even considered that, because I've watched so many videos on people that put it, you can buy like the insulation thing that goes around the outside of it. I've watched so much stuff about it, and I still have not yet found what I think would work even for just me. The actual thing that would work best for me would be a caravan. Like, it actually would be. Yeah, but the more and more I think about that, and now you've said, one thing I didn't think about with the caravan was the roads. Because to me, I'm like, I've driven so many millions of miles over the years through every single scenario possible. I'm like, I can drive anywhere, but you forget, don't you? Well, I forgot, like, the crazy hairpins with a caravan.
Yeah. It's really quite tricky with a big van, I think, sometimes, because we definitely avoid a lot of traffic sometimes, because we don't go super fast. You can't go super fast on these pins, is it really? So there's always cars wanting to fly past you. I think that's probably worse with a caravan. Well, unless you find somewhere, indeed, where you could potentially park your caravan. If you're there for a long period of time, you can actually park it there for a longer period of time, and then you would just go in and out from UK and go back to your caravan if that's what you're willing to do, potentially.
Yeah. Well, the other good thing about the caravan is I could leave it at the place in Champagne, and then I can drive my car home. I'm not putting crazy miles on a camper van, blah, blah, blah. There is actually a lot of advantages for it, for me. But I think, like you say, I'd have to just be very, very careful about where I was going. Like, I wouldn't have the flexibility that you guys have, where you can just pick somewhere and just go.
Yeah. Yeah, it would need to be lower down, isn't it? And just have then a
Yeah.
good connection with, like I said, funicular or just any bus that takes you to the bit where you want to ski.
And they could
Yeah.
also
Well,
generate as
like
well.
Bourg Saint Maurice would work. And then quite often we stay in Bridleban in the Three Valleys, which is like the sort of lowest down, cheapest area. But obviously they don't hardly ever get snow down there. And I imagine it, and it's still very well connected to Maribel through that long gondola. So there are places you could definitely do it. And then Zermatt, you can't stay in the town anyway. You have to stay in Tash and get the train in every day. So yeah, there are places, but yeah, I really want that freedom to just be able to get up and say, oh, tomorrow I'm going to Alpe d'Huez or wherever, which it doesn't give. So there's always a trade-off, isn't there? Like,
it's just
Cos's trade-off, probably you as well. He can only take one pair of skis, I've said.
not this year. I've built a ski rack now.
Yeah.
So, but then it's the weight, isn't it?
I bought really ultra lightweight skis, so
there's always reasons why we can take more. Indeed, yes.
Yeah, because like when I go skiing, well, last time I took like 7 pairs of skis with me.
I've seen a video of you. I thought, look at this guy. He's even taking more than you. We have all the pairs, but they just can't actually all go on the same holiday.
Yeah,
I know. Well, my mum and dad have got a camper van. No, sorry, a motorhome, and they go off and do their thing all the time because they're sort of mostly retired. And they left recently. They went to our house in Champagne. They were going to go to Spain for a month. But my dad is he's like me. He's got all gadgets and stuff. Anyway, they went to the Wave thing in France, and it was like 4 tons, which A, his camper van is not rated for. Sorry, motorhome, and B, he doesn't have a license for. So he's like, no, he's like, we're not insured. We're not got a license, they took as much off as they could to see if they could do it, and they couldn't. So now they're driving home tomorrow, and he's got to do his license, upgrade the motorhome's weight thing, all that stuff.
Because we were indeed thinking like we're definitely at the cuff of like where everybody just got a license for 3.5 tons, right? I think definitely I thought the older generation had indeed.
Friends of mine that are marginally older have got they got the like I think it's 7 months just like by default.
But that's what I mean. I think
because I'm nearly 50, but I don't have it. Like I thought, my dad thought I'd have it because I'm nearly 50, but I don't. And he was too early to it or something. So he's missed. Yeah, he's like 70.
Oh, so there's a beautiful window of people indeed that can drive these big motorhomes. Because we see loads of them now, but indeed, I think in the future it will be less, unless indeed people like us will have to upgrade their license because we can't drive these big 4.5-ton motorhomes or bigger than that. So,
no, it seems like something that is probably just worthwhile to do, but it's expensive. And it's like he's been looking into it, and he said you can do it for £1,000 and it takes a week, but I really don't want to do another test.
It's a risk of failing, isn't it? It's been so long.
One of the lads that works for me, he's doing his driving lessons at the moment, and he's telling me stuff about like when you're supposed to look over your shoulder and indicate and brake, and I'm thinking
all the time.
I would fail my test these days. I'm not a bad driver. I just don't know. It's just so much to know, to remember for every single thing you have to do to come across every single scenario. So I do feel for people that are actually having to do this.
It's made it a lot harder now.
But I think inevitably I'm going to end up doing my C1. I think that as the cars get bigger and they get heavier, they're the variable factor. But at the moment, they're lightweight, but they're going to double their weight in the next 5 years. So
and then obviously their skis are going to get heavier because they're going to need bigger skis. Their boots are going to be heavier. Their clothes are going to be heavier.
Yeah. They're the growing factor in this lovely plan that we had, not us.
I know, and then
you'll have to lose weight.
I mean the amount of times as well I watch like these reviews online, and I think, oh yeah, that's a nice one, and they're like, yeah, it's 4.5 tons, and I'm like, blimey, that's crazy.
Yeah, I know. It's one of the biggest challenges for building the camper was trying to keep the weight down. It was really like every single piece of material I had to hollow out and try and get rid of every possible extra piece of weight, no matter how it was. I mean, that probably took most amount of time.
You thought it through. That you wouldn't indeed go on a weighbridge and be over. So,
and I was lucky enough to know someone that works on a farm with a weighbridge, so I was able to go and check it every now and again and just see where we're at. And so when we're fully loaded, we're right on that limit.
Yeah, I can
So
imagine. And then you mentioned earlier that was it your company, the battery company, or you work for one?
yeah, it's mine. Yeah.
Oh, so did you have that before you started this sort of adventure, or is that something that's come off the back of it?
Yeah, no, we'd started Beyond Batteries. Well, the notion of it come about during the first lockdown, as a way of sort of trying to find a way of making a living in a sector that I kind of felt quite passionate about, which is climate. And
Yeah,
so the big studies at the time were around, you can have all the wind and all the solar in the world, but if you can't store it, it's all useless. So that was where that came. And then incidentally, into the following year, we decided because of Brexit, we decided to shelve our plans to buy somewhere in France and then put all that money into a van. And that was quite a difficult decision, but it fell nicely because we were like, well, hang on a minute, we're in that industry in terms of off-grid electronics. So this shouldn't be too much of a hardship. And actually, the easiest part of the van was the electrics. That was ironically the simplest part.
yeah, because you know that already.
And so then it was the carpentry, but actually the working in the tight space, that was the hardest part, I think, of the actual build. So yeah.
Yeah.
But Beyond Batteries ultimately was around before we did the van. So
Oh wow! And has your YouTube channel helped that business?
it kind of, not so much. I mean, I do a little. There's a little kind of logo just pops up every now and again in there. It's more just to sort of like offer anyone that's subscribing an opportunity to get in touch with us should they need any help with their electrics or their batteries. I don't think we've made any sales through it, but it's just something that we just put on there just for the sake of saying, hi, this is us. And,
Because it can be done in that sense. Because a lot of people, when we park up and we speak to other people, they still need to have lots of old AGM batteries in it, or they need to be charged up because they feel like they can't live off grid. And then we rock up with their power to the max.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It shows but you can all do it as well. Like if you just change a few things in your van, at least then you can go to different places because you're not so you're not so resistant on I have to plug in, and sometimes you can't even plug in because some of these airs don't have enough actual electric hookups to make sure that everybody's.
Would you say that all of the places that you've been? Would you say like the majority of places have free places to stay, or like on a very sort of generalised basis, do you have to pay more often than not?
I would say, well, if you need electrical hookup, then you have to pay for it, and those are normally the paid places to park up. We don't need it, so I'd say very rarely pay to stay somewhere. There are a few places that we like to ski, and because they have a big serviced air, we will stay there. Like for instance, Mont Ginevra, we were there over the New Year. We paid every day, but we didn't hook up. We changed the water over in the van a couple of times, which was quite a nice thing. But it's not particularly expensive to do that either. So it's sort of like 13, 14 euros a night. So. But we love the freedom of not having to rely on the services, and so that's that's the biggest bonus. We can literally go anywhere we want and ski.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, if I did that, it would have to be totally off-griddable for quite a long period of time. Yeah, for sure. I think that's a key part. Well, it would be. It's different for everyone, isn't it? This is the thing, but yeah, for me, it 100% would be. In fact, for my dad, I got him one of the DJI. No, not DJI. What's the battery company where you get them on a big like lift, like a trolley? Everyone advertises them.
Jackery.
No, the other one.
On a big trolley.
Yeah, they have the massive batteries.
Sorry, is it the EcoFlow?
EcoFlow, yeah. So he's on his camper because they are plug-in only. His motorhome, sorry. I was like, look, you've got to buy one of these EcoFlow things, connect it up to the alternator, and then you're off grid. So he's got this thing in his thing, and he absolutely loves it. Like he absolutely loves it, and it's cool as well because you can charge it off of a car charger. Like the real powerful one. So you can roll up to like an EV charger, plug it in, and it charges it in like 15 minutes or something ridiculous. He uses that to make his motorhome off grid. And it's super easy, isn't it? Because they literally like 2 wires. You've got it on your alternator, and it's done. Like it just works.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I mean the thing is, it's quite costly to retrofit a whole system of of electrical leisure sort of appliances and stuff. So yeah, it makes perfect sense to just have it a bit more modular. It's better than firing up a generator, which in a lot of the off-grid places that we go to, people between the hours of like 5, 6 in the evening, they fire up a generator to get their batteries through for the night.
Yeah. Just a noise.
No way.
Yeah, it's
I thought that wouldn't be allowed because of noise or whatever.
Well, actually, the places that we've been to that were all doing it were places like Alpe d'Huez, which doesn't have no hookups up there, but it's next to the airport where the helicopters are coming and going. So
you're not disturbing any.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
but they tend to.
Because I think actually your Alpe d'Huez video, I think, was the first one I ever saw, and that, if I remember, that was amazing because you basically were ski in, ski out. It was free, and they had a couple of they had toilets and a bit of other bits and pieces as well.
Yeah, it's great.
That's amazing, isn't it? Really,
that's one of our favourites. But
it really is, because we had the feeling. So when you said about Party Town, Val d'Isère, we went to Alpe d'Huez and Les Deux Alpes, and when we were younger without kids, we had indeed been to both resorts and had a completely different experience. One was indeed Party Town, the other one wasn't, and now we have the complete opposite. That Alpe d'Huez was for us when we were younger was Party Town. That's what we did. We know all the places, and it didn't feel like that at all when we were there with the kids, and it was great skiing. No. And now when we turned up to Les Deux Alpes, indeed, we just thought like, indeed, it's not the Folie Douce, but it was definitely a bar on the slopes. Forgotten the name. That was pumping, and we're like, where did this come from?
Yeah, it's just madness.
It's just crazy.
Yeah. But it's cool though. Like the thing is, we're just getting old as well, so we're sort of like noticing it more. Oh look, there's young people.
Yeah, because Alpe d'Huez was the second ski trip we ever went on, and actually it would be two years ago in about a week's time that we first went there, my wife and I. And at the time, because the reason I chose that is because it's all greens, isn't it, around the middle?
Yeah.
So I thought, we'll go there because we obviously couldn't ski at the time, really. And we found it so difficult. We were like, these aren't greens, they're blues. we found it so challenging. And then it was really funny because this year we went back there. We only went there for a day because we was doing touring around all over the place. But we went there for a day. And it was like, oh my God, this is almost so easy that it's boring. So it showed like how much we'd come along with our skiing, and my wife could not believe it. She really thought that we were going to turn up and find it and still have the same opinion that we had when we first went there, that it was much harder than it should be. But it was like, we're just going in a straight line. It's really not fast at all. So it was really amazing to come back because it really showed like how much we'd progressed with our skiing, because we were so intimidated even by the greens. And when we went back there this time, it was so easy. We were like, wow, this is actually not challenging enough. It's cute one go to cruise, but actually it's not enough. We need to go up a bit and do some more. But I loved Alpe d'Huez. I thought for people who are starting out, there's loads of free skiing there. It's got an absurd amount of nursery runs. It's got all those greens. It's got loads of blues. It's just a great place, I think, for people that are just starting. And the town is lovely and cute, and nice shops and nice restaurants.
There's definitely a few resorts, but indeed you might just have one or two beginner runs, and that's where everybody then has to go to. But with indeed Alpe d'Huez, there was so many to choose from that even when we were there during the school holidays, it didn't feel too busy. It was all like we could do this one, that one.
It was manageable.
It was manageable. Yeah, it was really, really nice actually. Yeah, maybe one to go.
Les Deux Alpes I haven't been to yet. How would you compare that to sort of Alpe d'Huez from a sort of just an overall experience perspective?
Kind of similar in like to the front de neige, the main front bit. We've actually got video coming out on this one very soon because we've just not long got there. So that it has, like, instead of it being like more of a bowl like what you have in Alpe d'Huez, it just kind of has a straight flat section at the very beginning where all the drag lifts and magic carpets are. And then it has a blue and a green coming down from the next level up. But then at the very top, a bit like what you were describing from Val d'Isère, at the very, very top, it's mainly blues all the way down for quite some distance. I think it's, from memory, it's 12 kilometres.
There's a glacier. It's our friend resort, hasn't he? He said he loves to ski there because there isn't so many different varieties of where to go to, so many pieces,
I mean, I like going down
And,
and not turning much, and that's the kind of place you can do it.
yeah, and from a camping perspective, was that a good place as well at Le Deux Alpes?
It has some electric hookups for I think about 20 campers. When we got there, it's full, but there is like an overspill further down the mountain in Mont de Lons. So even when you can't get in the main thing, there's somewhere else you can go, which is lift linked as well. So we just parked directly opposite the the little 2-person baby chairlift. So on the way up to Le Deux Alpes, there's just this tiny little village, not much going on there, but it has a lift and a park up. So. Nice and easy.
Oh wow! Yeah, because what always amazes me when I watch your videos is how good location wise a lot of the free parking is. Like it's like you could pay. Yeah, you could pay fortunes for a hotel, and you're way further away than like a free car park. Yeah. It's amazing. I mean, not always, but
because we've been in need like in hotels that we had to take a bus to get to the skiing bit, and now we just think like actually we just open the van door, put our kit on, and walk 50 meters, and we're there. It's just
that's crazy. There's a couple on YouTube. I don't know if you've seen them. They're in a motorhome as well. She had some bad news recently. Actually, do you watch those guys? And
do you know what they're called?
Oh, I can't remember what they're called, but. She unfortunately sort of announced that she had cancer recently.
Oh, no.
Which is awful. But they do similar to you, but they're in a big sort of motorhome type thing, and they go all the ski resorts. But they did they've done loads. I'll when I find it, I'll text it to you. But it's super interesting because there's so many amazing places they've been to that are right on the slopes. Like when they went to Les Arcs, they were literally on the slope. Like they opened the door and they were on the slope. It was amazing.
That's what you want.
So that's quite fun as well. But we're running out of time. But I've got a few questions. First one is, is this for everybody, or do you have to adapt so much that some people would not like it?
I think some people might be a bit too precious about their comfort levels,
right?
And that is something that you kind of have to learn with this. And I don't mean comfort levels in terms of like the bed or where you're sitting around at night. Just everything's in very, very close proximity. I don't know. Yeah, I'd say that's probably from my point of view. That's the main thing you'd have to overcome is just get your head around the fact that there's not a lot of space.
No, I mean we didn't leave the country until I was 17. We were always on camping tents and caravans. Like my whole youth, we never left. We never went abroad. We just couldn't. So I spent my whole life in caravans, tents, awnings. So to me, it's not a big deal. But
I think for some people it can be a big deal, but that's something I think to overcome indeed. Because like we said, like we weren't fan people. We didn't go in camp van or caravans.
We would camp in tents and stuff. But the thing is though, like in the van, like I said previously, in winter though, you don't just kick the doors open and rely on the awning. You can't put an awning out when there's a risk of snow or ice because you'll never get the thing back in again.
But then we are like you as well in the sense of like we do wake up, go skiing whole day, have lunch. All day, like if we think how much time we actually spend in the van in the evening, it's quite limited in that sense,
Yeah.
So
this is the thing. Like when people say to me, "Oh, you ski too much," blah blah blah. Like, what about the rest of the stuff? I'm like, I can do all of that stuff at home. The one thing I cannot do is ski. So when I'm there, that's like what I want to do. But the thing I love about skiing the most is not the skiing; it's the fact that it's the freedom is massive for me, and because it's the last thing probably where if you want to go jump off a cliff and kill yourself, you're allowed to do it. Like it's perfectly fine. Not that you want to do that, but I like the fact that if you want to like go under the lines and do something off piste and risk your life, you can. And I think you should be able to because you should make your own decisions about your life. But that's one thing I love. But it's also like the fact that everyone can wear what they want. They can drink if they want. They can eat if they want. They can ski if they want. Like it's the freedom and the just do what you want, whatever makes you happy. If you want to ski around in a tiger's hat with a girl's skirt on, do it. Like, and actually, half the people won't even look at you because there's other people doing the same thing. Like, I love the way that everyone can just do whatever the hell they want, and it's okay. because that's like the opposite to what it is here. Like here, the temperature goes over 30 degrees and it's a black warning. We're all gonna die. Like, and it's just embarrassing. But where the one another question is, you recently went to Flane, or that was the recent video.
Yeah.
Is it as much of a shithole as it looks?
We were not. Someone else commented that they actually quite liked it, and that's indeed each to their own. But I think we had the year before we went to Avoriaz, and that was also a bit like a Marmite kind of thing, like how that's built. But actually, we quite were impressed with that, like how it's just like quite imposing in that sense. That Flan was like, oh no, this is not it.
Yeah, well, I mean, the architecture thing is I'm really keen on it. I love looking at architecture, and yeah, like everywhere we go is kind of 50-50. Either people love it or hate it, especially with those really garish ones. And Flane, unfortunately for me, it just felt like, honestly, if I could describe it in a phrase, it'd be post-apocalyptic concrete.
Do you know, the funny thing is, I actually don't mind that, but the reason I sort of phrased it really badly, but a lot of people that I know that have been there, they've said like there's no restaurants on the mountain, everything looks kind of little bit depressing, especially if there's no snow. You know, that kind of thing. But did the skiing sort of make up for the lack of prettiness, or
well, you don't have
was
to
it
go
not
far
great?
to get the prettiness. That's the thing. Like you only have to go up and over one lift, and then you're going down into Les Carreaux or Les Carroz, as I call it. Yeah. And then that's beautiful. You're only one lift away from the beautiful tree runs. And actually, I think Flan has a really nice, one really nice, pretty tree line blue. But the actual main bit in the centre, like the town and stuff, it's just a bit bland. It's a bit boring. It's a bit concretey. You know, and you take the rough with the smooth. You know, we have if I wouldn't be unhappy about spending a week there because the volume of skiing is huge. And like Meeks has said earlier, is that, you know, quite often we just get back to the van at the end of the day, have a bite to eat and a beer and crash out, and then we're up and out again the next day. So it depends on what you want out of it, really, I guess. But ultimately, Flane is a little higher, so there's less trees, but it has a ton of off-piste if you're into that kind of thing. And the bit down the bottom is kind of nice for the beginners. There's lots of bits and pieces to do, and it's pretty much ski in, ski out like the other places that we've been to. But yeah, I take your point though. It's not the prettiest.
We've been to a few resorts that look like 70s, like you know,
Shamroos.
A lot of them do.
And they're quite interesting then in that sense. But yeah, this didn't tick my boxes, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I'm always more obsessed with the skiing, really. Like, don't get me wrong, my favourite place is Zermatt because everything is ridiculously beautiful. But the skiing is the most important part usually. But it's like you guys have been to Le Plan and Les Arcs. Like Les Arcs 1950 is quite pretty. It's that weird sort of American looking thing where it's all owned by one company. But the rest of Le Plan and Les Arcs, the actual resorts, they're all basically like Flane. Like they're not particularly nice at all. Like they're actually quite unattractive. But the skiing is awesome, and once you're out of those resorts, the place is beautiful, as everywhere is.
It's funny but the plan video, I did a segment on the architecture there because I was a bit scathing about it, and then I was talking to a mate about it, and he kind of like went, you know, but like it's subjective, right? And I'm like, yeah, okay, I just cut that whole section out. It didn't bother me. Oh yeah, okay, sorry.
If I had to describe, I mean, this is like a really ridiculous way of saying it, really, but actually, again, I'd say it's a bit of a dive. Like I'd say all of Le Plan resorts a bit of a dive, but then if you've been to Zermatt, Val d'Isère, Chamonix, you're very spoiled for that stuff. Like if you've only ever been to Les Arcs, you probably think that the resorts are like the most beautiful things you've ever seen. But like even in Les Arcs, like apart from 1950, which is that weird like Back to the Future in the snow type looking place, like the rest of it is pretty bloody ugly. Like 2000's ugly, 1600's ugly, 1800's ugly. Like they're not very nice to look at all. But as soon as you get away from them, it's you know, as everywhere is, it's absolutely off the chart beautiful, as they all are. Like I've never been in the mountains and thought, well, this is not a very nice looking one.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Yeah. Sorry.
And then, but just before we finish, where are you skiing next and when?
When
Roughly.
a few weeks' time, we're off again.
Yeah.
And where are we going?
Well,
Do we
it's
know?
not fully set, is it? But I think we're going to, was it Manigo again?
Definitely going to Manigo.
Manigo,
that's
that's
like
one.
our little favourite spot. We
Yeah.
always try and scarf in a visit there in between
Yeah.
wherever we go. And this place is really close to La Clusaz. So that's
Okay.
kind of big town, and Manigo is a bit further up the mountain where the snow's a bit more sure and there's less people around.
Yeah.
And we prefer less
Oh,
people.
okay. Have you been to Lake Annecy before?
We haven't actually. No.
Oh,
We're
so
not summer
yeah, if you
people.
ever. No, I'm not either. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely despise the summer, but I still have to do things in the summer because of the family. But Lake Annecy is a beautiful one because you can ride around the lake. There's loads of ski shops there. You get the mountains in the background, and it's an hour from Chamonix. And Chamonix in the summertime is actually very beautiful as well. So yeah, if you ever do that, but I don't know if you know about this already, but have you ever skied in the Juras?
We haven't. We know a bit about it, but we've not done it yet.
Yeah, I highly, highly, highly recommend that. Whenever I drive through to the Alps, if they've got snow, I always ski the Juras. So, Meterbiev, Gerard Mer.
Oh, yeah, Gerardmer's in the Vosges. We've been to Gerardmer and La Bresse.
Yeah, Le Bresse. So these places, they especially Meterbiev, like and Gerard Mer and Le Bresse, they have Le Bresse is a little bit hillbilly. Like maybe don't go to that one, but the others, the Meterbiev especially, absolutely beautiful. Like you wouldn't know it's not in the Alps, but every single tree run is tree lined.
Yeah.
Really family focused, totally different vibe, super cheap, and it's on the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah, you can't get to the Alps without driving through it. So if you like keep an eye on the weather, and if you as you head out there, because it's like 7 hours instead of 10 or whatever, yeah, I highly recommend stopping off somewhere like Meterbiev and have a go. You'll love it. It's so much fun, totally different vibe, super cheap, like cheaper than anywhere you've ever been in the Alps. Yeah, and if they've got snow, it's so much fun as well. Like so much fun. 30-40 kilometers worth of slopes. Like I love the Juras. Like, and it's such a great place to stop on the way there or the way back or both, which I do. Only if they've got snow. If they haven't, don't waste your time. But
I just drove literally Sunday. Just drove through the Jura on the way back from a trip, and yeah, like the Alps have been a bit hit and miss. The Jura still seem to be capped off all the way across the whole lot of them. So I was quite encouraged by that.
Yeah, well, they normally they don't open till sort of very late December, but this year they got the same snowfall late November, early December, and the skiing there was absolutely like off the chart. It was so good, like it was as good as anything in the Alps, but almost prettier because every single run is tree lined and it's only 1,000-1,200 meters or whatever, so you don't sort of get that little bit of fatigue either. It's just and there's no English people there.
Yeah.
It's just locals.
I said it soon, didn't I? Yeah.
Yeah, that was one thing I didn't like about Alpe d'Huez. There was too many English people, but try honestly give the Juras a go because it's good to sort of help them boost their figures because obviously they struggle more than anyone with climate and all this sort of stuff. So I try and tell everyone about it, and it's so much fun, and the kids. Like my daughter, she loves Meterbiev because she plays on the sledges. There's loads of kids. Like she's messing around. It's less serious. You know,
and
like,
that's for them.
it's a
That's
lot of
part of the
fun.
holiday as well, isn't it? Really, for us, well, for you guys, it's definitely ski. But I think for them as well, often we do like these extra activities. Like they need like a swimming pool as well, or need like the sledding and stuff. That's what they quite enjoy out of the holiday, and hopefully.
Yeah, and my daughter is as happy doing snow angels in the car park as she is skiing. Yeah, like because they love the snow, and this is the reason I even started skiing is because when I was young, we had snow every year. Like I would be outside with my friends a month or 2 months of the year in 1 or 2 foot of snow in shorts, a t-shirt, and no gloves. And it was so much fun, and I realised like as I got older, like how much I missed the snow. And one year I said, I'm driving into the Alps and I'm driving until I find snow. Like you can stay or whatever you want, but I'm going to find snow. And that's how I started skiing because I saw, there's loads of people skiing. Let's try that.
Yeah,
Wow,
nice.
I need your days on the
Yeah.
slopes now, because if you're that good already for 200 days, we've been skiing for a lot longer, and I still struggle sometimes.
Yeah, but I've been obsessed with technique from the beginning.
Yeah, and that's the bit I can't get my head around, probably. Yeah.
You're okay.
Okay.
Mika just likes getting down nice and safe and secure and happy and just soak up the atmosphere and everything else. So
I tell everyone that the best skier on the slope is the one with the biggest smile because they're achieving the ultimate thing what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah, just
So
yeah.
So if you've got a big smile on your face, you're the best skier on the slope anyway, as far as I'm concerned. But
every time I'm on the slopes, I'm like a Labrador with someone just throwing a ball. Honestly,
honestly, the reason I started doing the podcast was because my friends and family are so sick and tired of me talking about skiing.
So you needed an outlet.
Yeah, and that's why I post on social media, because it's like an outlet of my, like, I don't know, like I think I'm massively on the spectrum with skiing, so I'm like trying to let this like happiness and emotion and try and share it with as many people as possible.
And now you're a bit more like, look, there's more people like me.
Yeah, and it's kind of turning into something that I never really expected. Like I'm getting like well over 15 million views a month, which is
wow,
absurd. So yeah, and then you're getting offers for this, like it's turning into something I never really expected it to, and some of it I won't be allowing to happen because I don't want it to be a business. I want it to be fun.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, the way we kind of see it a little bit is, if especially with our Tippy Travels thing, is that if we're providing a service and it's useful to people, and maybe there's a kickback of something from YouTube, we're just going to put that into spending more time and effort into going to places, researching and doing, and we want it to sort of come across a bit more like our lifestyle is being partially supported to essentially live out a bit of a dream for ourselves, but also provide a service to the people that really need it, because we have struggled over the years to get the right information, and that's kind of our motivation.
100%, 100%. Well, like when my first the reason I started creating content in the first place had nothing to do with skiing. About 10 years ago, I built like this, not this exact version, but an iteration of my home setup, which is quite crazy. And I didn't know how you put 6 screens on a computer. So my business is IT, so I do know this stuff, but I didn't know that. So when I did it and achieved it, I made a video, I put it out, and it got like millions of views, and then all of a sudden I had loads of subscribers, and then all of a sudden I'm in the tech industry, I'm putting videos out, and that's where my content creation started. I ended up with over 250,000 of subscribers on YouTube, and I was sponsored by Huawei and Samsung, and I made videos for years and years and years. But the problem was my passion turned into a business with deadlines and money, and it actually put me off, and I stopped it, and I don't really make those videos anymore. So I don't want skiing to be the same. So anything that happens off the back of it is all on a barter basis that basically just will allow me to ski more.
Same for us.
So I've made that mistake before, because I used to love, I still love technology, but not like I did. I was obsessed with it, phones, everything. Like I've got drawers of phones from back in the day when they used to send me hundreds of phones and stuff. But ultimately it actually removed my love of it, and I stopped making videos because I didn't enjoy it anymore. Whereas at the moment I'm making videos for skiing, not because I love making videos, and I love the fact that people message me and they go, "Oh my god, you've hyped me up so much, I'm going skiing in a week, I've watched that video 100 times, I'm gonna," like that to me is like it's making me buzz now. Like that is the bit that I love, and that's what I want to keep it as. So it's just an outlet for the passion, really. That's literally all it is.
Absolutely, it's exactly the same for us. We love traveling, we love skiing, we love the mountains, we love snow, and just the more we can do, the happier we'll be. And so this is all, it's all a means to that end.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've loved the videos. Like, I've some of them, like the outdoors one. I think I've watched it multiple times, and I've showed so many people as well. I'm like, look at this. Like, I'm like, they've literally driven to the Alps. They're in a car park. It's right on the slope. Like, people are like, yeah, okay, Adam, you're very good. But I'm like, no, seriously, look, this is amazing. I was like, they've even got a place they could wash their piss down. Like, this is incredible. But but the so yeah, but so yeah, I appreciate the content. Like, I love it. It gets me excited for me going away, and yeah, and and obviously the information, even if you're not into that, it's still just interesting. So if people want to watch your videos, what do they do?
Oh, I don't know. We're not that techie. I think you just search Tippy Travels on YouTube.
Yeah,
Tippy Travels. Okay.
Yeah.
And do you put out? I haven't seen it because I don't think you do. But do you put out any sort of short media content on Instagram or any of that sort of stuff?
Instagram boss.
No, not really. So we've been making some shorts recently, but that's in YouTube. Then that's quite a new thing for us. But indeed, that's we're trying to get some small content.
We're not that good at all this stuff. I mean, you might get that from the videos. Like, you wouldn't believe the amount of times that I've like recorded something and gone, yeah, got that, and then we get home and go, oh no, I didn't record it. I took a picture of myself instead.
We're getting better, let's just say. But yeah, I think we did do a few like short media contents, but indeed we need to do more. But indeed, like you said, like, sometimes the whole fun of being out with the family on the slopes takes over, and they're like, oh yeah, get my phone out. You know, it just hasn't always worked.
Yeah, no, even people that ski with me, I get on their nerves because I'm like, oh, stop, because I've got to take this video to turn into a little video. Like, it does get, you've got to find a very like important balance. But yeah, but you will, you know, if I started putting my videos on YouTube, I would never get 15 million views a month. YouTube is the absolute hardest place to get subscribers, to get views. And actually TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, it's very easy. Well, I say it's easy to get views. It's easier, but you can drive to your YouTube channel from that. You know, if that's ultimately what you're trying to do. But yeah, you'd be amazed, like these little 15-second videos of just you on a chairlift in a beautiful looking situation with the right song.
They come through my scroll as well. And I just said to him, like, oh look, it just
Yeah, I've got like me sat on a chairlift with a nice song and a beautiful view, and it's got like 2 million views. And you think, well, a lot of that would drive to your YouTube channel. Yeah, it's definitely worth doing, but you do have to find that balance. Because when I used to do like unboxing videos, I'd get hyped for a product, like say the new iPhone. I used to sleep outside Apple overnight, get the new iPhone, come home, and I can't open it until I get home because I've got to do the unboxing. And that took a lot of the fun out of it for me because I just want to rip it open and
that is the natural reaction instead of, oh, wait, got to set everything up.
Yeah, whereas I'd come home, I've got to set all the cameras up, the mics, I've got it ended up ruining it for me. But be careful with that because that definitely can become a thing. But yeah, thank you so much for
horizontal, vertical. We'll make our way through making something.
Well, the best trick for that is what I do. If you have a new GoPro, they have a square sensor. You record everything in 1x1, and then you just chop it for what
okay.
It is.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, the DJI have just done it with their new little GoPro type camera as well. But that's the way to do it because otherwise you have to do 2 of everything.
Literally just bought it.
So perfect. You can record. I think that one is like 8:7 or something, but it's still basically a square image, and then you can just chop it how you want. Yeah, that's the way. That's the way to do that stuff.
We'll figure out on an extra.
But yeah, thank you so much for all this time. I really appreciate it. I've loved every minute. Thank you so much, and yeah, hopefully maybe we'll bump into each other on the slopes sometime.
That would be awesome.
I was going to say we have to head to Zermatt as well. That's still on the. You've made us very excited about that. If you wanna ruin every other place you ever go to Zermatt.
Fair enough.
And also, if you want to destroy your wallet, go to Zermatt as well.
I do that every time we go skiing.
Yeah, and if you go to Zermatt or Verbier, you're going to do it even more. They're just a nightmare for money. But even when we go to Zermatt and you have to get the train, we still put our food in a plastic box. We put it on the trolley, take it on the train, and we save a fortune. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind going to the nice restaurants because that's an experience. But you know, in Verbier and Zermatt, it's £30 for a bit of chicken chips and a Coke at the self service, and that is not an
sometimes it's not worth
experience.
it. We like a good under fondue, or indeed like as a tartiflette, like mountain food.
Yeah.
Indeed, for the black stuff, it's like, oh yeah, it's not worth the money sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, and with Zermatt, you get the ability to go over into Italy, you know, which you can do other places. But the thing is, there it's got the longest run in the world, 28 kilometers, from the very top of the Matterhorn Paradise all the way to Val Tournai, and it is just ridiculous. Like, you're just skiing for hours without going up. Yeah, so it's a very, very, very special place. Once you go there, you'll understand what I'm talking about.
It's on the list.
Kind of, there's something special about it.
It's gone in the mental note.
Yeah, and the Matterhorn just is. It's very special. Yeah, you know, I've seen like the Eiger in Grindelwald. I love Grindelwald. That's another place to go. That's beautiful, but the videos don't do it justice. When you've got that Matterhorn in front of you, and it's insane. Like, there's no other places that have that. It's so unique. It just makes it does feel like the mountains are kind of washing over you all the time. It's a really lovely sort of special experience. So yeah, Zermatt is definitely the one to go. But I think you guys would love Val d'Isère, because that skiing up on the glacier with all those like beautiful, lovely blues. It's a very special place from snow and lack of people.
Yeah.
I
mean, definitely.
But yeah, I look forward to the next video anyway. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it's worth it, I mean, try, if you ever get the opportunity, maybe rent a van for a week. And then
that is on my mind. Yeah, I'm one day I will see the right thing or come up with the right solution, and I will definitely do it. And I will definitely chat to you guys, because obviously you've got all the experience of all of the things you've done wrong, which I want to know about.
Maybe we can do a tandem and sort of like tag you along with on one of our trips.
Yeah, no, I'd love that, because I'd love to do the Arctic as well, like not skiing, but just do the Arctic in a van. Like, there's so much I'd love to do with the van, but yeah, at the moment it's just money. It's like, that's a lot of money that I could use to go skiing. Yeah, I've got to get it right and make the right decision, but I definitely will. I'm going to go to all the shows this year, you know, like the camper shows, the caravan shows and all that stuff, and yeah, maybe by next winter I'll have made up my mind. But yeah, again, thank you so much, guys. I massively appreciate it. Thank you, and we'll catch up soon.
No worries, brilliant. Thanks, Adam.
Cheers. Thanks, guys. Enjoy your next ski trip.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks.